Howdy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans. We are here to share the exciting news on the blockbuster Kickstarter for the revamped, returning to stores, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle RPG with the lovely folks at Palladium. Welcome, Sean and Kevin.
Howdy.
So Kickstarter is going amazing. It's really taken off. It is on gangbusters, and there is so much love for this project coming in from folks who it was their first RPG. They remember, playing it back in the '80s when it first came out, and it looks like you guys are really showing a lot of love on this reissue. So tell us what is in this Kickstarter. What is the core here? What are the books? What's available to them? What's new? What's old? All that good stuff.
The new Kickstarter is for a Redux edition of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness original RPG and books, and we've got them right here actually to show off. So the first book collects Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness, the original RPG from 1985. Plus, we have the Turtles Go Hollywood RPG adventure and Truck and Turtles adventure in with that, as well as a section of tribute art by famous turtle creatives and remembrances and behind the scenes stuff from both Kevin Simbita and Kevin Eastman's archives. And then the second book has it's called Transdimensional Adventures, and it collects transdimensional TMNT, which has rules for magic and time travel and mutant dinosaurs, as well as the best-selling adventure supplement TMNT Adventures and TMNT Guide to the Universe, which includes rules for space combat and building your own spaceship and flying around and fighting Triceratons and saving Utroms and all types of stuff. So we're really excited about those two books, and part of this is bringing them back from the pre-digital age, when everything was created with typewriters and pasting art to boards and sending it to printers. Now we have digital processes, so we're remastering all the books from the ground up, and we have full colorized art. We also have new layout and full color as well with the art, and including rules clarifications and updating the equipment section to have all the modern gear that everyone's used to, some new mutant animals so that have never before appeared in any other one of our RPGs. So I think people will be really excited to get their hands on this new really sharp edition. Oh yeah,
the original books were black and white.
Right.
Much of the art, especially for the RPG itself and TMNT Adventures and TMNT Guide to the Universe, was done entirely by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Transdimensional TMNT was done by Jim Lawson, and we are making sure that these are deluxe, beautiful coffee table edition books that you can use, yes, at your gaming table, but they're going to be gorgeous to look at. They're going to be a magnificent full color. And in addition to that, we have artist after artist who loves the Turtles, who have done the Turtles in one way, shape, or form. Jim Lawson, Kevin Eastman, Freddie Williams, Sophie Campbell, the list goes on and on. They're all doing tribute pages, full page spreads of various characters from the RPG and the Ninja Turtle comics. And those are also beautifully colored. And there'll be spreads for those in both of those book editions.
Correct.
As well as some written tributes. In fact, I just got writer-director Rawson Marshall Thurber's foreword for one of the books. And it's great. And part of what I think I want people to really understand is this is a passion project, not just for me, not just for Sean, but for everyone involved. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. I think that's why they're both jumping in with both feet, because they loved the original RPG. We were their first or second license, so they're thrilled that we're coming out with this, deluxe, cleaned up, re-edited gorgeous, reissue of the original games that hundreds of thousands of gamers just bought and loved and adored. And to me, that's also a tribute to Eric Wujcik, the late great Eric Wujcik, who was the main game designer and writer on the books. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's turning in beautiful art, beautiful remembrances. These are going to be books that people are going to want to keep for forever.
Yeah, and one of the things that is really cool too, and I think it's part of the reason that Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and Jim Lawson and other of the original crew are excited to be a part of it, big or small, is because they also created art specifically for the RPG that people haven't seen in any other place, because a lot of the comics and the mutant animals, we have dozens and dozens of mutant animals in each of the books, as well as 8-9 pages of comics in each one of the books that are completely new, that you wouldn't have seen anywhere else unless you saw. There's a couple of random collections that might have had them in the past, but yeah, these are great way to enjoy those pieces of art. And it's all come full circle 40 years later, as we're about to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next year. So
yeah, well, and the response has been explosive. So I mean, folks, like the one of the awesome options on this Kickstarter is all of the variant covers, and I know fans are very excited to be able to see the proofs of those. And the ability for Eastman and Laird to come back and do variant covers and all of these wonderful things are really because of the amazing fan response to the initial Kickstarter page for this, the preview page. And just how explosive that was, and how great the first day was, and everything. So I know folks are really excited, but it's it's a legitimate Kickstarter, folks, where people are. This is a bigger, more fun and interesting project because of all the excitement you guys have shown. And we'd love to be able to just show you all the variant covers right now, but those are actually they're being created right now. That's the kind of the whole thing, is we've had more options from Nickelodeon and our licensing partners because of the Kickstarter just taking off as much as it has, right?
Yeah, well, and we wouldn't have expected, Kevin Eastman, he's a very busy man, as are Freddie Williams, Sophie Campbell, so many of the other creatives. They're so busy. We didn't expect that, you're going to do this for this, and you're going to do this for this. And, we got the green light on the project, and we had a lot of plans in place, but we were very delightedly surprised when Kevin Eastman nearly insisted on saying, hey, I want to do a new cover. And every time we talked to him, and I want to do a new cover, I want to paint a new cover for it. And so Kevin and I were like, well, I guess we'll do a variant cover. And then Sophie Campbell said, I want to paint a cover for Transdimensional Adventures. And so so it's just, a lot of this stuff has just come together when these really awesome creative people have just had that passion, because they know how much the fans love these games. Kevin Eastman talked to us about how whenever he goes to conventions, he always gets fans bringing up the TMNT RPG books for him to sign, multiples at every convention. And he says he's just surprised so many decades later that the fans are still so excited about it. But we're not quite as surprised as some people, because we hear about it all the time. It's one of the number one questions we get. So we really wanted to bring this back, because that's like the number one things that fans ask us about, is when are you going to bring back the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the role-playing game, the original one by Eric Wujcik. Yeah. So this is it.
Well, it's amazing.
Sorry.
Well, it's an amazing testament to his legacy on just the work he did, and it's the fact that it's now lovingly recreated with modern trade dress, full color art, all this new and art that's in tribute to the RPG and to Eric's work. I mean, it's really it's a great project. It hits all the nostalgia buttons, but it's also a great tribute to even the legacy that this RPG has had in the RPG industry for 40 years.
Well, and for me, for instance, this is the first role-playing game that I personally ever owned. And so to be able to dive into role-playing and really get it for the first time. I'd played some other games, but TMNT and Other Strangers is the first one that I really seemed to get. And me and my cousins and my buddies, we played it, and in the summer, or on breaks, and then as things as time moved forward, I played other Palladium role-playing games and branched out. But it's so fascinating that that's what I started with, and now I'm here at Palladium working with Kevin as his business partner, and to be able to bring this back is a real big passion project. and to do it with all the different skills that I've learned and honed over years in the industry, that's really exciting as well. So,
well, I just want to point out to people who are not necessarily completely familiar with all the source books and things, Transdimensional TMNT, it's got one of the best explanations and rules for time travel I have ever seen. I mean, it's just great time
fans
travel
talk about
stuff.
it all the time. Yep.
Wojcik was on fire when he wrote it, and it's all going to be made available again, and look more beautiful than ever. It's going to be just an amazing set of stuff.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's after decades of being out of print, this is the time to bring it back in full style with the full fanfare that we can muster for it. So, and that includes a lot of items that our licensors were really awesome about, that we're able to offer as exclusives during the Kickstarter, including dice and miniatures. So
yeah, so let's talk about those. That's super exciting. So we've covered that old time fans get everything they remember from the original, updated and spruced up. All the new fans who have not played a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle RPG before, maybe you didn't even know the original existed, welcome. But it is a fully fledged, beloved RPG system that really brings out the flavor of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And as you guys said, there's just so much more, right? There's so much more.
It's very approachable. It's easy to play. I figured it out when I was 10 years old, and we're doing work right now to make sure that it's got some more of the modern gaming terms that people might be a little more familiar with. Little clarifications here and there to make sure the rules are easy to use and everyone can just jump in and have a good time.
Yeah, lovingly and lightly edited.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the very little risk on the books. The books they've been written for 40 years, and obviously, the revamp work. You guys have been hard at work for a good amount of time on that. The original covers we decided to run with, they are already produced and ready. You guys can see them, and then the fact that we can offer these variant covers is super exciting. We will be revealing those as we get those in from the artists and as Nickelodeon approves them.
Yeah, we have a lot of them already on display on the Kickstarter page. Yep. And that includes even just the cover art are homages. So not only are the book interiors homages to the originals to make sure that we keep that classic feel as we move forward with a lot of modern things like modern color and other features. But that's the same goes for even the covers of the books. There are homages by Freddie Williams and with colors by Michael Majestic for the two mass market hardcovers. They're both 256-page full color hardcover books. But
that's another thing too, hardcover for the first time, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
So yes, these originally appeared in softcover format. I've still got my copy from when I was a kid, right? So they held up well, but these hardcovers, I think, will be something like Kevin said. I mean, you'll be able to proudly display them for many years to come because they'll be even more durable with full color hardcovers.
Well, and we're pulling out all the stops. It's going to have quality color, quality paper. It'll be Smythe sewn, which means the signatures that are
the pages are sewn into the core.
Right, they'll be sewn and glued into the hardcovers. Those pages aren't going to be falling out 50 years from now. You're going to have to rip them out. So it's everything's high quality. The books, the game shield, the miniatures, the dice.
Yep. So
and so for comic fans, there's a whole lot of art prints going on. There's very different sets of art prints with the different levels you can pick, and also art prints in the stretch goals we can go over. But there's just a whole lot of art for folks that new art, remastered old art, recolored old art. So I should say that old classic. But there's just a whole. Even if you're a comics fan, there's a whole lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle paraphernalia, I should say, that is available in this campaign that really is not available anywhere else.
Right, it won't be available in mass market afterwards. Afterwards, we won't have the miniatures or all of the fan roll dice. We're working Fan Roll, a great company. They make really great dice and accessories. All of that's going to be available just for this campaign. And then one of the great things is if you back the campaign at any level, and then we go into the back period after it ends, before things get shipped off to print, you can upgrade your pledge, and we'll let you know during that period when that's going to end, because at some point we do have to end it and make sure that we have solid printing numbers to be produced. But until then, people will be able to upgrade their pledge, add
And I
more
was gonna say, get
add-ons.
more. They can buy add-ons.
Upgrade the pledge, get different add-ons, and without missing out on those Kickstarter exclusives. But you do have to get your foot in the door, even just with $1 during the Kickstarter period itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get access to that
Right. So you have to back it, at some level, or pledge at some level, to get that access later on. So we don't want anybody to miss out, because we're really excited to even be able to offer these items at all.
Oh, and especially things like the miniatures. That was something we weren't sure we're going to be able to get authorization to do. And, that's something that the licensors were really great about, because they didn't have to give us miniature rights. And they talked to other departments to have
divisions,
who control the rights to those, and those mostly fall under the toy category. And the toy people signed off on it. It took a while, and that's why we didn't want to commission our sculptors to start doing the digital sculpts until we knew for sure we're going to get those miniatures. And it was like at the last minute that we got the thumbs up on that, which was awesome. We got excited because I enjoyed anyways. I don't know if Sean saw them or had them, but I loved the Dark Horse miniatures. And they had, nothing even close to the kind of detail and stuff we're going to have in
these new miniatures are modern sculpts that will be produced in, the terms get tricky, but resiny plastic, something like that, not metal. They're high detail, 28 millimeter heroic. So if you're familiar with most tabletop war games and stuff like that, compatible sizes of minis, and they look like the character art stepped right off the page from the role-playing game. We just put an update. Our partners at Transperfect Gaming, who are very experienced modelers, are working. We've already shown off Casey Jones, and we're looking forward to show off more of the
Wasteland Warrior.
What's that?
The Wasteland Warrior.
Yeah. So, and it looks like Casey Jones, and I can't wait for you to see the turtles.
The turtles.
They
and
look
Triceratons. And,
Yep. So
the Foot Shredder.
Yep. The Terror Bears. Yeah. So there's a lot of great things coming along that I think people will be really excited to see, or I know people will be really excited to see. And can't wait to show those off. And of course, just please bear with us as an officially licensed product. We do have to have, all this stuff has to go through formal approvals to make sure that everything is up to the licensor's quality, and that's the best thing for Turtles in general and for all of us. So please be patient with us as we get those to you as quickly as we can. In addition to that, we have dice. The fan roll have helped us create 5 new dice sets. One for each of the Turtles: Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael, as well as an aluminum set of dice for Shredder. And each one of the dice boxes also comes with a bag with the Turtles art from the game.
Yeah, dice bag.
Yep, dice bag. And then we also have a dice tray and a connecting dice tower, as well as a TCRI, for anyone who knows the mutagen green, the mutagen canister themed dice scroll mat that you can roll out and roll your dice on or pack it away and roll it up and run off in game with. So a lot of really cool stuff there. By popular demand, we're bringing back we are bringing back a version of the Game Master screen with the same original art by Kevin Eastman on it. And we also have a set of mutagen green dice. The cool thing is the Game Master screen and the mutagen green liquid filled dice are going to be available during and after the campaign for general purchase on our website and through our distributors.
That's amazing. I love that there's a manhole cover on the bottom of the dice trays, because I think even just this week there was an official manhole cover dedicated to the original birthplace of the turtle.
That was fascinating, right? That was in what was it, Dover?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where the Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the creators of the Turtles, first created the Turtles. They've got a historical plaque that just went up.
Yeah.
And they have Ninja Turtles on the sewer plates, and which is pretty awesome.
Cool. I mean,
that's awesome.
How many people can say they have a manhole cover dedicated to them?
Right.
I mean, that's just
right, especially when it's so thematic to the origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's a great time to be a Turtle fan. There's the great comic books by IDW, including Last Ronin and the spin-off comic book series from that. There's the new Mutant Mayhem movie, which is great for kids of all ages, and more stuff coming with that, including a new Nickelodeon cartoon that's coming up. So we're all excited just to be Turtles fans. There's new role RPG computer combat game coming out for the Last Ronin. So it's all really cool stuff that we're just excited to be part of the Turtle Mayhem that's going on.
For sure. And that's the thing is, we are Turtle fans ourselves, so we know what you guys want, and we're trying to deliver everything we can. And the cool thing is,
when we like it, when we want it,
artists, so are Kevin Pete.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's just great. It's like Sean said, it's a great time to be a Turtle fan, and I can't wait to see all the other things that'll be announced next year for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, and when we've been bowled over, as Kevin said, when we signed the contract and made the press release, announced the return of the game, the number of artists that were suddenly, they heard about it, and then they were saying, hey, can you, reaching out to their friends who already were doing tribute work for us. They're like, hey, can you let them know, let Lady know that I love their role-playing game too. I want to be a part of this. And it's just been really surprising and heartwarming to have so many reach out. And we never expected to have over 24 tribute art pieces to include in the books. Again, full page color art by renowned comic book artists and role-playing game artists. So that's one of the great things that we have coming for the print sets that are available is, depending on which level you back at, you can get a print set that includes the cover art and the variant covers, as well as a set that includes art by famous comic book artists and their tribute pages. Another one is full of famous role-playing game artists and their tribute pages. And then, if you get, and if you back at a higher level, you get all 3 sets. So, kind of pick your poison, whichever one you're most interested in. Or if you want to jump in both feet in and get everything, you can get all the print sets as well.
And I want to point out one of those role-playing artists is Larry Elmore himself. Not to mention Ramon Perez and Stephen Cummings, which kind of straddle both spheres. They've done work role-playing for us, and they've done work in comic books. So
I still haven't decided where we should put Freddy's art, and we said maybe we put one of his pieces in each set.
Yeah, absolutely. One of each.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people may not know Freddie Williams started out doing a lot of his early work was working with Kevin and doing art for
Ramon Perez also.
Riffs and the Palladium role-playing game. Yep. And so it's funny now to see Freddie so well known and attached to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics and other famous comics. So it's a lot of fun to see all this happen.
And Ramon Perez would go on to win a coveted Will Eisner Award for one of his graphic novels. I mean, we get top quality people here. And by the way, Ramon was one of the
top men.
Ramon reached out and said, "Hey, you haven't called me yet. Can't I do something for a book?" And I'm like, "I haven't gotten to you yet, Ramon. Of course you can."
No, it's been fun. It's been just a positive experience. Everyone excited and reaching out to us, and we can't turn you away. So we'll just keep adding those to the books. If we have to add a few pages of the books, we will, because we have a hard time turning away, good friends. So we're really excited about this.
So speaking about adding to the books, the 3 stretch goals that are already knocked down, all kind of add content to the books. Let's go over them. So the very first one, which was off the bat, was the original 1985 TMNT Another Stranger's cover art print.
Yep.
And then so that I mean, I've got it back here. You've showed it. It's I love the juxtaposition between that cover and then the new cover art.
Oh, they look great side by side, right? It's just like 2 generations next to each other. Yep.
Yeah, it really just speaks to the whole ethos of what we're doing here, right? We are bringing back the hitting the nostalgia button and the newer, fresher, cleaner, modern And just, it's so great on that front. And then for folks who are purists who, everybody should be in a red bandana, talk about that variant cover too, because that's one of the variant cover options, which is pretty awesome.
And that's actually, so just to be clear,
Yeah.
that's actually the black, white, and red edition of each book is actually not just a variant cover. The interior art is all different as well, in that the interior is going to be the original black and white with red highlights. And so but the covers of the books, yes, you can see them. The color covers are by Freddie Williams's line art with Jeremy Colwell's inks, and they look gorgeous. So yeah, we had the suggestion from our friends at Paramount, suggested, hey, what about doing a black, white, and red edition? And then as we talked to a few of our close friends, we realized some people really wanted that red, the red bandanas, the black and white interiors, just like their favorite old game that they played for decades, and that maybe they still have on their shelf, maybe they don't. Maybe it succumbed to a hurricane or a flood or something like that. And when we were talking about it, Kevin and I just realized we have to do this other edition so that people have the best of both worlds. So the black, white, and red editions are gorgeous.
Plus they're cool. It's kind of a thing that's been going on in the comic book industry for a while, is these special noir or black, white, and red editions. And they are really cool. I mean, you wouldn't think swapping out the color and having spot red and the occasional red tone or would make such a huge difference, but I mean it does. I mean, just look at the covers, from the difference between the black, white, and red version and the full color versions. I mean, it's
totally different tone to it. Yeah, and it's funny because this is exact same line art.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty neat, and that's the thing too. You had mentioned, I think you had said, Chris, even comic book fans will love these books, but I want to point out that the original books were aimed at both gamers and comic book fans. Which is why we had Eastman and Laird do the art, which is why we included 8 to 12 page comic strips in the various books. And these new books will appeal to comic book fans as much as gamers. I mean, they really are tribute editions. And for comic book fans, as Sean had said earlier, a lot of that art, especially the spot illos and the character illustrations,
you can't get it anywhere else.
You've never seen them. I mean, this is stuff that
the piece of history,
fans
really,
of Eastman and Laird may not have ever seen in their entire lives, don't even know exist.
Yeah, these books, a lot of people don't know that when Kevin saw issue 2 of the TMNT comic book, he reached out to Eastman and Laird, and this was the result, was these role-playing games. And so before there were cartoons, before there were movies, before there were toys, there was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness role-playing game, illustrated by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And so it's just fascinating. It's a piece of history to see that art. It'll just knock your socks off if you're a Turtles fan and haven't seen it before, and characters that may be all new to you, right? Or if you are someone who has played the role-playing game, you know how awesome they are, like the Terror Bears, like Doc Farrell and his henchmen, and including classics like Baxter Stockman and Shredder and Foot Clan soldiers. So a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of really cool allies and enemies that you can add to your game, or just read about and put into your memory banks.
Well, that's really one of the common comments, is folks just mentioning how much the original RPG grew the world of TMNT. It was the fact that all the other mutant animals that had not appeared in the comics yet, or never have appeared in the comics, that you could create with the role-playing game, and had art with them in the role-playing game, and just how much that kind of opened the door for your own creativity and what kind of characters you could play in the game.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris, because that's, for people who are not familiar with the game, it's designed so that you can create any mutant animal, any mutant animal, and turn them into Ninja Turtle-like heroes.
Or villains.
Or villains, yes.
Or anti-heroes.
And it's a blast. I remember, in fact, when we were talking to Ciro Naeli, he said he couldn't find people to play the game with him. But he created, I'm pretty sure it was Ciro who said this. Yeah, he created something like 200.
I remember it was like dozens and dozens of characters.
200 animal mutant characters because they were just so much fun to create.
And it is a lot of fun, and that's one of the things we hear over and over is it was fun to make the mutant animals with my buddies, and you know, roll on the table. Where did we come from? Were they some sort of experiment, or they grow up in the wild? Were they trained by you know, some secret government organization? I mean, all that kind of stuff can happen, and it's a lot. It's a blast. It's a freaking blast. And so you can, you know, enter that world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their allies and enemies and frenemies, and become a whole part of that with your own mutant creations.
You know, and a lot of you might be thinking, oh yeah, lions, tigers, bears, but Eric's play group, which is in the RPG, are the Sparrow Eagles. I mean, they're mutant sparrows who are crime-fighting badasses, you know, trying to keep the mean streets of you know, some big city safe for everybody. You know, it's just great stuff. And you know, one of the things Palladium Books is famous for is that our books are fun to read. There's backstory, there's the adventures. So, you know, everybody from any walk of life who may pick these books up for whatever reason are going to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's easy to pick up too, right? Because the second stretch goal was already been locked, is everybody gets an introductory adventure that was written by Sophie Campbell and you, Kevin. So why don't you tell us, like, what is that? Where do they start? Are there archetypes that are included with that? How does that adventure work?
So that's with that adventure, you'll get the 4 turtles, pre-generated, ready to play. So if you want to try out the turtles, but also a good something good on hand for the game master if they want to just have the turtles jump in, but something familiar for players, and then an introductory adventure. Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go into details as they're changing from time to time.
Yeah.
But they may include the Sparrow Eagles.
That's what we're talking about with Sophie right now.
And they may include a little bit of time travel and dimensional dinosaurs.
Maybe mutant dinosaurs
or maybe not. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't say this because Sophie is so excited about all this that she'll say, oh, I want to do this or that. And then be like, oh, guys, I can't do it. My schedule's too cramped. Please don't be mad. And we're like, we can't be mad at you, Sophie. But, you know, but she's talking about doing at least one or more additional drawings of the characters that appear in the adventures.
Yep. So we've got, and so the adventure is a sure thing, but as her time allows, we also have she's really excited to contribute more and more art. She's already doing 2 tribute art pieces, so 1 for each book, and also she did the variant cover, which you can see for the Transdimensional Adventures book on the Kickstarter page. And so she's really excited to participate in even more. So we'll see how much she's able to drop more material in for us. But it's just great to work with people that are excited to be working with us. And you know, like Stephen Cummings, he's just busy doing Marvel Star Wars comics.
We didn't think he could do anything.
We were, and so he said, no, I'll make it happen. I'll make time for it. And that's been the refrain from so many famous artists and creatives. You know, writer director Ross and Marshall Thurber. You know, his hit movie Red Notice. I think it's very public knowledge. Has spawned a couple of sequels have been announced, and he's working on a bunch of other big projects. And he said, no, I want to write a forward for this. And you know, this is from the guy that did everything from Dodgeball to Central Intelligence to Red Notice. So to have people like that talking about how the playing role-playing games changed their life and help them become creatives and artists, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is amazing. Really and I do want to say that, and he floored me when I met him years ago. Rawson said, and the reason he wanted to write the foreword is he had told me that it was playing first Turtles and then Riffs. I guess Turtles, Heroes Unlimited, Ninja Super Spies, and then Riffs. He was the game master, and he realized as he was creating these stories and these characters that that's what he wanted to do, that he wanted to be a storyteller and he wanted to do it in film. And he's like, Kevin, I attribute that to you and your books. And I'm like, oh.
Cut me into the next one. Cut me into the next one.
Right.
No, that is. I mean, and I think to me that's the most amazing part about helping out with comms on this Kickstarter is just seeing how many people have. I mean, it's like a little key that unlocks memories they didn't remember they had about playing around the middle school table, or it being their first game and the first time their parents gave them money to buy an RPG book in the friendly local game store, and just how it got them into a hobby or into a creative lifestyle. And it's just those comments are just fantastic. I mean, there's very few other properties even in the industry that can really say that was a gateway RPG for so many kids. And so it's really great that you see that one, we can revisit it, but two, that it's just so much more now. It's not just a simple reprint. It's just it's deluxified. And I'll have to cut this out, but here's my little mutant. You can make your own. The fun thing is all the art is you can make your favorite dog breed, and there's some really great art we've included on the Kickstarter already. But
no, that's one of the cool things about the game. It actually has a lot of different types of dogs that you can use to create all types of stuff. And the other thing is for fans of other Palladium role-playing games, you can use these rules to create characters or mutants for all different types of games.
So use them as aliens.
Yeah, use them as aliens. But you want to play Rifts and have a Lone Star mutant animal. You can mutate it using the TMNT rules, right? So there's a lot of different stuff that or anthropomorphic, if you want anthropomorphic animals in a game or a setting, whether they're aliens or it's some alternate reality. I mean, we've got Mouse Guard. Mouse Guard's David Peterson is doing art for this as well. It's a beautiful piece of art. So can't wait to show that off soon as well. Yeah. So it's just fascinating. The caliber of people that are a part of this, but also just how the mutant animals and that whole side of the game, it's just really fascinating and really captures the imagination. It's great.
Well, kids love animals. I mean, adults and kids. I mean, talk about a great game to introduce preteens and teenagers and even younger if mom or dad's going to be the game master. I mean, everyone loves animals. Everyone knows animals. And it's just a blast to create a character that is your mutant animal tiger or bunny rabbit or, your pet, your hamster. I mean, it's just a blast.
Yeah. Right. And it's a great testament to Woo's and just how much those rules are very elegant. They're still very good today. Just easy to get into, super evocative of what kind of animal you're starting with what you end up with. So it's good stuff. I'm so happy for you guys that the new generation is going to get to experience what a lot of us had as one of our very first RPG experiences. And really, there hasn't been a whole lot like it since. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the RPG are just very unique properties in kind of both spheres, right? And there's not a lot of similarities, and it really is. It's wholesome. It is approachable. It is exciting. It is epic. There's a lot of, just the tongue-in-cheek or cheese in mouth, pizza stuff. It's fun, right? It's a whole lot of fun. There's very little about this that doesn't always just exude excitement and fun. And,
it's action, adventure, and fun, right? Exactly. Yeah, it's Palladium at the Palladium's games at its best, right? Where you're just making some skill rolls, fighting some bad guys, saving the day. So. And that's one of the great things about these books is both of them are just chock full of adventure material. From the core book had great adventures and great characters like the Terror Bears to interact with, and then now it's got both books now have all the adventure supplements as well added in. So there's just a lot. There's a whole wealth of classic legendary gaming to be had, re-experienced, or experienced for the first time.
And I just want to say, you mentioned Eric Wojcik. I mean, Eric was just a game design genius. A lot of his he was always working on things. So a lot of his stuff never saw print because in his mind, they were never quite finished, which is a shame because he had some amazing stuff. And Turtles is one of them. It's just, he was ahead of his time and did a great job designing and writing that game in the first several source books.
Oh, so good. So the third stretch goal, which is I think either unlocked now or close to it, is
very close to being unlocked. Yep.
is the original 1989 transdimensional TMNT cover, and that is graphically one of the most exciting covers that really has ever reached the market. I mean, that very dynamic two, that split, and what's going on there. I mean, instantly recognizable.
Kevin Long.
Yep. Yeah, and that's and it's funny. We've got these faded books, but we have fortunately archives that we've remastered for the art. So the print for the original cover art and the transdimensional cover art, without sans the title and logo treatment, are going to look great in the print set as well. Our fans really love the art prints that we put out, and these are no exception. So I think everyone's going to be excited to have that as well in their package that arrives in the mail with all this cool stuff. So.
So in the update number 2, we got a look at the one of the miniatures, one of the sculpts was Casey Jones, and it looks just fantastic. I think those guys are really doing a great homage to the art. I mean, it is a very faithful reproduction and a very stylish, very cool. But one of the things that the big $1 million stretch goal is the Fugitoid miniature and rule. So why don't you talk a little bit about if we hit that goal?
Yeah, and I think we're on a great track to hit that and beyond. But yeah, Fugitoid is a character, an original character created by I really was Peter Laird.
Peter Laird, yeah.
Yeah, and he was crossed over into Turtles, especially in their early transdimensional adventures. So it's interesting because you'll see him in the comics in the TMNT Guide to the Universe, and you'll see him in some of the other art throughout the books in a couple of places. But there weren't rules for him and a full write-up on him, and so we talked to our friends when we were doing the licensing, and we said, hey, what about Fugitoid? And there was some discussion there, and suddenly it was an option, and so we jumped at it and said, yes, let's do this. Let's add it as, because we weren't sure of how much they'd let us add material to the book and things like that, because we're technically reissuing the classic game, right? And Fugitoid's technically a separate intellectual property. And so we're, to be able to add him into this formally is really awesome. And we're also going to have the Fugitoid miniature will be added to the Heroes miniature set. So in addition to the Turtles and Splinter and Casey Jones and TCRI aliens, Utroms, and their robot bodies, you're also going to have Fugitoid. So that's really exciting for me and for a lot of the fans. And the other cool thing is that Fugitoid is being featured on the new foil cover art done by Kevin Eastman with Peter Laird. And so I think a lot of people I already know a lot of fans have said they're super excited to see Fugitoid coming on that cover, because as part of our second update, we also showed off that art in progress for the 2 new foil, we're calling them mutagen green foil editions, but the foil stamped leatherette cover books. And then the internals of those books are going to be the same as what you might what's going to be in the normal edition of the core books. But again, something that looked really cool on the shelf or really cool on the coffee table to show off.
And will be very limited in number.
Yes, so and those are.
We're not signing and numbering them, but they will be very limited.
Yes. So yeah, those are limited to just this Kickstarter as well. So that's another one of those really cool things that you can get in on as part of this Kickstarter that is limited edition. So.
Yeah, awesome. So one final thing, maybe we'll cut it, maybe we won't, but I am infamous for spoilers and getting people to give information they might not otherwise want to give. But of course, so the way into this Kickstarter is the only way to get a lot of the exclusives. So if you back during the Kickstarter, a lot of this stuff is not going to be at retail, not guaranteed to come to retail. But I think one question folks have is this a new beginning, or is this a punctuation for Palladium and Turtles?
This is the beginning of a great relationship, I think, with our licensors. So we again, we don't want to talk about anything that's coming in the future. We're very focused on what's coming for these books, and as doing the Redux super awesome version of the books as we always wish they could have been done. And I guess let's throw out lots of spoilers. So we are very excited to be able to announce that we're also going to be adding Shredder's daughter Karai as one of the stretch goals coming up to the books, and to be illustrated by Kevin Eastman. So anybody watching this, that's coming. As well as we've gotten permission to do a deck of poker cards, playing cards for the Ninja Turtles, featuring the Turtles, and there's also a couple of other miniatures that we have online, including Doc Farrell and the Triceraton, a Triceraton warrior. So that we'll be adding those as stretch goals to the campaign soon, or slowly unveiling it. But if you see this, then you have some insider information, and you know what's coming, and you'll just get to see when we announce it. So it's been going really well, and we're super excited about everyone. This has been featured in articles by comicbook.com, Screen Rant, Forbes, to
ICV2.
ICV2, a lot of great places. It's been a lot of amazing coverage that I'm sure we probably don't even know half of the cool stuff that's out there, because we've been working so hard to make this a reality and keep pace with the growth of the explosive growth of the Kickstarter. It's really kind of turned into a phenomenon. What was originally going to be reissuing the classic books has turned into something much bigger, and so we're doing our best to ride the wave and enjoy it with everybody. Man. Yeah,
we want to give people the best, because we know what fans want.
Absolutely, and it's
trying to give it to them.
And as different doors have opened, we've immediately said, yes, let's do a variant cover by Kevin Eastman. Absolutely, yes, let's do miniatures. Yes, let's do this, let's do that. So that's been really awesome, and we're really excited for the future.
I was going to say, check out it should be getting posted anytime. What is it? The Ninja Turtle Power Hour.
Yeah, we just did an interview with Ninja Turtle Power Hour, and we've done a couple of other Ninja Turtles podcast interviews. I can't think off the top of my head.
And we'll be doing more.
We'll be doing more. So yeah, there's and we've done interviews with like Master of the Game, the Glitter Boys, a popular Palladium podcast. So there's a lot of different channels that have been interviewing us and having a great time.
So yeah, for all of you Legacy fans, welcome back to the Turtle family. And all the new fans, you're in for a special treat. A lot of folks have asked how they can help the campaigns. I think the biggest thing you can do, and we are a small company, and even though this is a $1 billion property, it's hard to get the word out for anybody that we're doing this. So if you could share your fond memories, or that you've backed the campaign, and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, share it with your old gaming buddies, your new gaming buddies, right? Anyone who you used to play the game with, or
read and love the comics.
Yep. Turtles fans in general. This is again, anyone who likes the Turtles in any format, I think is really going to enjoy this slice of history. And if they're a gamer at heart too, this might be something that piques their interest. And they might even just have fun making a couple of hundred mutant animal characters. Who knows?
Great. So stat up your dog as your favorite warrior hero, and give him some pizza for the treat. But there are more stretch goals to unlock that just add value to the pledge level. So there are several days left in the campaign, so there is time to share your love for the campaign and get in before it closes. But it has been amazing. It's been a great way to close out 2023, bringing back one of the landmark RPGs in both industries, for comics and for tabletop RPGs. So congratulations, folks, on reaching out again and asking, hey, should we do this? Can we do this? And getting all those approvals, and start writing a new chapter in what is the Turtles RPG. It's pretty exciting. So
thank you. And we're excited to be a part of it.
Sure are.
Good. So back to Kickstarter before it closes, folks, and we'll be back with some more spoilers and some more reveals as the campaign continues. Cheers.